Welcome back to the Tracy Take. I'm Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and today we are breaking down the Dallas Cowboys 2024 NFL Draft. It was a lot of fun watching the draft this weekend, and so we're just going to be breaking down the Cowboys selections. But before we do that, if you haven't already, go ahead, like this video, subscribe to the Tracy Take, and also tackle that bell to get notified when new Cowboys videos come out. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the start of the NFL season, so any help between now and September is greatly appreciated. So with that being said, Ryan, let's pull up these slides here. Started off with Tyler Guyton. They traded back with the draft host, Detroit Lions as well. Go get a guy like Tyler Guyton. I like this selection a lot. They lost some guys on the offensive line side of the ball throughout the offseason. So I think just go and get a guy that has a high ceiling, very athletic, needs some development still, but I think it can come in and help contribute right away. I think, again, Tyler Guyton here was a phenomenal selection. Ryan, what are your thoughts on this pick overall?
Yeah, he's one of the most athletic offensive linemen in this class at 6'6", 330. He's a converted tight end to tackle. He did play at that right spot on the Oklahoma offensive line. However, he only played there for a couple seasons, and I think he definitely could make that switch over to the left tackle because he doesn't have those like thousands and thousands of reps at right tackle where he has that muscle memory kind of down. And so switching from right to left is not always easy, but I think Tyler Guyton has the athleticism to be able to go and make that switch. Yeah. So, but a really good prospect, nasty run blocking, and has the athleticism to be successful in pass blocking sets.
Yeah, I think as well too, as I mentioned. I mean, when you're just losing guys, and there's kind of this organizational shift, with Dan Quinn moving on as well. And so I know he's a defensive coordinator, but they didn't really do much in the offseason at all with bringing in new talent. And so here, I think just going offensive line, you can't have too many good offensive linemen, I feel like, on a team. Yeah. So I think you go with a guy with a really high ceiling and Tyler Guyton. I like that selection. I think another guy as well, when you get the offensive line, then you go ahead and address the defensive line. I think, again, Marshon Kneeland here, I think a guy out of Western Michigan. I think he's going to provide some good potential as well on the defensive side of the ball. Help maybe take some pressure off Micah Parsons. Because really the kind of whole goal is you want Micah Parsons in as many one-on-one situations as possible. And so Marshon Kneeland, I think, could be a guy you put across from him as well, maybe even move him around a little bit on the defensive line or maybe even then to an outside linebacker type role. It just creates as much confusion as possible for the offensive side.
Yeah, I like Marshon Kneeland, but I just am not really a fan of this pick. I didn't feel he was really a second-round selection. I know a lot of people around the NFL had him going around here. It's just he's an undersized tweener, and he's a good athlete, but not a great athlete for that size. And I think you look just his profile. Not a lot of guys at the NFL level work out with his profile. So I just I don't know. I understand it. I just don't necessarily like it. And I think he does have some upside. He has really good length, and he is a powerful rusher. He's not going to beat anybody with his speed. And I don't know. We'll just have to see kind of how this one pans out from there. But they do have a couple third-round selections. So going to the first one here with Cooper Beebe, the interior offensive lineman from Kansas State. Just another, I think, good player. Going to fill in and add some depth in that interior. Probably could be the Tyler Guyton replacement. I don't know. I'm not sure off the top of my head how much center he has played, but I think they have Tyler Smith already at left guard, and so him being able to fill in that interior, I think, would be a good option.
Well, it could be something as well then too if he can play left guard. If Tyler Smith has to move out to left tackle, which something I think that he can go and do. Then now you found your Tyler Smith left guard replacement as well. So there's other avenues then you might be able to do to find your Tyler Guyton replacement as well. So I think a lot of different avenues. I think that the Cowboys can go, and they've provided them some good options, moving forward with getting Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe. So I think one option then as well, or one need that they needed to address, which they get here on their next pick, was linebacker Leighton Vander Esch having to medically retire, from the NFL. I think Maurice Luafau, linebacker out of Notre Dame, is I think just going to be a good addition to this team in general. And so you need to address that linebacker position. And that was probably one of the bigger weaknesses, I would say, of the Cowboys team last year, was just their linebacking group. They were just so good on the defensive front, and then also then in the secondary as well, that just kind of got overlooked. I think you go get a guy like Maurice Luafau put him in the middle there. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see how he can go and develop on this Cowboys team.
Yeah, no, I like this guy, big athletic guy that can kind of play in the middle of this defense that, maybe take over that Leighton Vander Esch role at some point. So
Yeah.
let's get into their day 3 picks here. Starting off, Kalen Carson, a cornerback from Wake Forest. It was almost 100 picks till they did pick again. But he was a guy that flashed some high-end potential throughout the post or the pre-draft process. So I like that value there. And then Ryan Flournoy, the wide receiver from southeast Missouri State.
Yeah.
So definitely a small school guy, but his name was definitely floated around as a potential sleeper option at this wide receiver spot in this draft.
Yeah, especially to anything in the picks 200. Those guys you can go and develop, but still, it's minimum. I think he could be a good special teams guy. And so they get Nathan Thomas out of Louisiana, and then also Justin Rogers, Auburn from defensive tackle from Auburn. Once again, just beefing up that interior. And so it's Cowboys, I think, had a kind of a boring draft, but I think they got good players with where they were at. Good guys to go and keep developing as well. And I kind of thought about that when I'm putting in my grade, and Ryan and I, we graded each team against one another, not just like individual based on how we thought the picks did. So if we move on now to their draft grades as well, I thought Cowboys just had a good average draft. B was about an average draft for me compared to how some of the other drafts ranked. There was a lot of really good drafts, like that A- and A's in my mind. So B, I think they just did a good job. Was not a sexy draft. A lot of trenchmen that they ended up getting here, and only a couple of skill position players. But I think this could be a draft we look back on. These guys pan out and they developed them the Cowboys way. We can look back and be like, hey, like this was a draft class that helped out the defensive, the offensive line, helped out Micah Parsons and getting a good defensive lineman as well that they can slowly go and develop. And they've really allowed their skill position players like CD Lamb to really grow and just be the dominant force that they are.
Yeah, I gave it a C, which is, I guess, slightly below average. And to me, there's really 2 reasons there. I'm just not a fan of Marshon Kneeland as a prospect. And so taking him second with your second overall pick, that's going to hurt your grade in my eyes. And then also switching tackles from right to left. I know in theory it sounds easy, but that's like trying to write left-handed. It's not always an easy process. And I think going and getting a guy in the first round that is going to have to make that transition is a little, I don't say scary, but just definitely something to kind of keep an eye on, that he might struggle at first. So I don't know how much better they really got right now, and I think that was a part of the reason why I gave them the grade that I did.
Yeah, and I think that too, it's been a very unique offseason so far for the Cowboys because they lost a lot of pieces of it and they didn't really bring in anybody that's, at least off the top of my head, that's coming to mind. And so it can go get some free agents, I would say, post-draft as well. But I think this was just kind of a good draft. It was just they got I think good players, I think, with some high ceilings, but nothing that was sexy or crazy. And like to your point, some of the guys that they got still need some development. So I was like, how are they going to help them this year?
Yeah. So although I think they got a few good players there, but let's go ahead and wrap it up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of the Cowboys 2024 draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you do differently? Know that. We'll see you guys next time.